Hi, this afternoon I'm going to tell you how to poultice a horse's foot, which you'll need to do if your horse has unfortunately got a foot infection or has got a bruise or maybe a cut on the foot. So today we have my model Ashley, who doesn't actually have a foot infection, and normally I would take a shoe off of a horse, but just for demonstration purposes we do have a shoe on this horse. So the first thing to do is make sure you've got the right gear to do it with. So here we've got some gamgee. You can use cotton wool equally. Duct tape I use, and then you can either use Poultice, which is animal Lintex, or nappies if you happen to have those around. And then a towel to dry the foot with, and if you've got a horse that's uncomfortable because it's got a sore foot, then I would use some form of bribery, such as a licket or food, just to distract the horse from what you're doing. So first of all, we need to clean the foot. So make sure all the mud's out. If you've got a foot infection, you've probably soaked it in some iodine water or salt water or something to get rid of the foot infection in the first place. And if you're standing your horse in a bucket of water, I find the best buckets to use are the shallow rubber ones, because if the horse does kick around, you don't break the bucket, whereas something which is brittle like this white one will break and then scare the horse. And don't forget the outside of the foot, because that's often got mud on it. If you're doing repeat poultice, keep an eye on the frog and make sure that's not getting soft and infected. And if it is, ask your vet whether they can give you something to stop it thrush developing. So once the foot's clean, give it a good dry. And quite often I'll then stand the horse on the towel that I've used to dry the foot on so that it stays clean. Yeah. So going to my equipment, I've prepared a pad of gamgee which is the size of the foot. I've got a poultice which is the shape of a foot. You can get these in different sizes. The plastic always goes on the outside so you trap the moisture in to try and draw the infection out of the foot. And then I use duct tape, just in the name of speed and economy, cheaper than bandages, with no nails here. So I prepare this earlier, getting a shape that's going to fit the horse's foot. So if you've got a young horse, especially, or one that's not as obliging as my patient here, having this prepared earlier will speed up your poultice application. So let's make a double layer. Then to apply the poultice, good girl. If I'm going to have, say I had a hole in the foot here, I'd put some iodine or something in the hole, or hibiscus if I didn't have any. Then I'll put the poultice on. Then the gamgee or cotton wool on top, just as a pad, acting like slippers because the foot's going to be sore. Now just pop on the duct tape. So if the horse did to stamp the foot down at this point, at least you've got the basic poultice in place. This is super sticky in the hot weather. So it's making sure you've got plenty at the toe, because that's the bit of the horse does dig that you'll go through. Here you go. Then I just make sure I can always get a finger down the front of the foot, otherwise that's where you can get rubs. Yeah, I know that feels funny, doesn't it? And if you've got a horse that's going to pull or it's going to go out in a field, I would then make sure the cotton was always covered, otherwise that's something very good fun to play with. And there you have it. Good girl.